I knew the hike was a bad idea before we even started. Now, I saw the nice, colorful, curly word art images that were in, the hostel pamphlet, and the words that said, easy and for beginners. But, after being in Toronto for a few days, I was like, okay, their definition of easy and for beginners is not the same as mine. So I point to the picture and the words that say small waterfalls. But my friends, they're like, no, you'll be fine. They're pointing at the stock images of people just with backpacks all smiling. I'm like, okay. So we set out and we're like, okay, we're gonna do it the next day. Well, the taxi driver first right away says he's not going to drive us to the beginning of the trail. He goes, no, you know what would be better for you? Get out here, and if you climb this mountain, that's just random mountain on the side of the road, that'll connect you to the trail, and then you won't have to pay an entrance fee. So since we're cheap and college students, we're like, that sounds great. And so this hill really did look nice. It was sloping and grassy. You could, a Sound of Music kind of thing. And it was really nice at first. But then we get to the top of the hill, and it started raining, and we're tired. And my friend Lauren's lips are purple because it's cold. My friend Andy is just green from the altitude, and I'm just red from general lack of fitness and my hair. And so we're there and we're at the top, and from our vantage point, we can see the real trail. It's kind of in this deep valley, this whole meandering path, and it's very big. So we have a decision to make. Do we keep going or do we go home? I wanted to go home, and so did some of my other friends. So we did what anyone would do stupidly, in a horror film, where we're going to split up. So we split up and kind of, we're making our way back down the hill, to the real trail home. And it started to rain harder. So we're cold, and we put on our extra sweatshirts and our raincoat. And we're really happy at this point because it started to rain worse. And we're like, we made the right decision. Ha, they didn't. But then we get to the waterfalls, which I was right. They were not small. So you have one side are these waterfalls, and the other side is just, so this hill is kind of like a switchback mountain sort of thing, and it's dirt and gravel, and the bottom is basically a low, upside down roof almost. So we're like, okay, what do we do now? And as my friends are just sitting around thinking, I'm not a hiker, but I'm a woman of action, so I was like, I'm just gonna go. So without consulting them, I sit down on my butt, and I'm like, I'm gonna scooch down this hill. Didn't tell them. Halfway down, I realized, all right, I'm totally fucked. Because I realized halfway down that if I don't make this jump perfectly, then I'm literally going to be over the edge of this frickin' cliff. So I started to panic, and I'm like, all right, go back. But I'm not strong, so I just topple over, and I'm like, no, help! And my arms are trying to inch myself up. And when you're in gym class and you're trying to do one pull-up, but you can't do it, and when you finally fall from not getting into one pull-up, you're like, oh my God, if I was ever in the situation that Mufasa was in, hanging from a cliff, I would be totally fucked. Well, in that moment, I was I was so right in thinking that. So, but I was lucky because I was oh, my friends are there, I'm not alone. So I'm help me, I'm down here. And my friend Lauren just peers over the edge. She just starts laughing so hard that she pees, and then she excuses herself. And then we have my friend Mark who pulls some branch from a bush and pulls me up. And so I'm sort of up there. I'm half airplaning it on this plateau, and my other feet just dangling through this bush. And my other friend Kelly is just laughing at me. And she just looks at me and is I'm sorry, I'm just laughing at you because with all of those sweatshirts and your yellow raincoat, you really look like Winnie the Pooh right now. So they get me up, and then I really couldn't even tell you how we got down the rest of the hill, because it was kind of just a blackout, and for once in my life, I was I'm so happy I'm not dead right now. And it was just like we finally then celebrate by, we're going to now go to a museum that like tells you about these mountains. And so as they're like talking about the waterfalls and the mountains, I'm just so happy for every flat step. Yeah.